跪着，别打我，别打我！看完我算是发泄了。
After watching this video, I realized that when a man keeps compromising, begging, and enduring, it only fuels her arrogance. This kind of woman must never be spoiled. You can see it very clearly from the video. This man was compromising, he was enduring, and what he got in return was this woman pushing harder and harder, using high heels to smash this man's head open. In the end, the man fought back only because he had no other choice. I can only say, bro, you fought back way too late. I just want to tell everyone, when someone gives you a way out, you must not take it as a chance to push your luck, especially women, because in the end, the one who suffers will only be the woman. If you don't believe it, just watch.
这买的全是啥呀？全是你的下手炭。你现在是什么意思呀你？
你不给我做饭，还不允许我买呢，我等着饿死啊！
你一天挣多少钱？猪耳朵买这么大盘儿，鸡爪子啊，还抽这么好的烟，还喝着小酒，你日子可舒服呀，你日子。最好的时光里，刻下最美的痕迹。
这种女人就是平时宠的、惯的、纵容的。
This kind of woman is spoiled, indulged, and enabled by men in everyday life. She doesn't cook, and that would be one thing. But she still complains that her husband doesn't make money. The worst thing a wife can do is not to commit a crime, but to know perfectly well that her husband has it very hard, that he is very devoted to the family, and still keep confronting him head-on, treating kindness as weakness, and taking advantage inch by inch to bully her husband. There are really quite a lot of women like this. So when dealing with women like this, men must become tough, and they must fight back.
老子你给老子夹死吧！
反复强调，女人不要和男人动手，不要和男人动手。
I keep emphasizing, women should not lay hands on men, should not lay hands on men, especially a man's face, that is like touching a tiger's backside, but she just wouldn't listen. Now look what happened, this woman almost got a fracture. So many women are like this, they fear everyone, except they do not fear their own husband. They listen to everyone's words, they believe everyone, except they do not listen to, and do not believe their own husband. Look at how this woman slapped the man, swift and seamless with zero restraint. That momentum clearly shows she is used to doing this on a daily basis, determined to completely control this man, and press him down hard. Little does she know that men are people too. They are made of flesh and blood, they have hearts and feelings. Do not treat his love and tolerance as something you can exploit with no bottom line, as endless endurance, as him not daring to strike back, not daring to resist. Do not listen to a few lines of toxic chicken soup advice, and then take the level of his tolerance as the level of his love for you. The man in the video is obviously someone who has been humiliated for a long time, suppressed for a long time, bullied and tormented for a long time, and then suddenly snapped, truly pushed beyond endurance. And what's more, this was on the street. The woman slapped him in front of so many people. If you're not asking for trouble, then who is? So whether you are dating or married, do not fantasize about who controls whom, who handles whom, who dominates whom. A real intimate relationship should be an equal dialogue, living together with mutual respect. That is the only way it can last. Otherwise, if you turn this relationship into a power dispute, a power struggle, then your relationship is also about to reach its end.
Don't you think so?
不知道大家看完这个视频呢是啥感受啊？
I don't know how everyone feels after watching this video. It happened in a school cafeteria. It seems there was some kind of argument. The girl hit the boy first, and maybe she did not expect that this boy would actually dare to fight back, a string of fast punches, directly knocking the girl to the ground. After the boy finished, he even said that the girl hit first. First, I'll share my own view. This boy's counterattack was a bit too intense, but what I want to say is, girl, why did you hit him in the first place? Is there anything that cannot be solved by talking? Do you think just because you are a girl, all men must yield to you, and nobody dares to touch you? I do not support boys hitting girls. Chinese men, in general, basically follow the idea that women are a vulnerable group. Since childhood, we have been taught that men should yield to women. So generally speaking, even if a woman hits first, many men will not fight back. But now this trend seems to have changed. Some men are different. As long as you dare to lay hands on them, they will fight back immediately. I have always felt that the biggest sign of social progress is gender equality, but in reality, men and women have always been unequal. On the surface, it looks like a male-dominated society that defines women as a vulnerable group, but in essence, it only makes women more self-righteous and lawless. And many times, when conflicts happen, many women will say to men, "You are a man, why are you arguing with a woman? And I am a woman, men should yield to me." Haven't we all heard that before? You see, it is precisely because we treat women as a vulnerable group that they feel, "I am weak, so I am right." That is why it leads to yin rising and yang declining, and why so many women become so domineering. Whether in dating or marriage, women cover everything with one hand, leading some women to become lawless. Isn't that the case? This is the result of constant indulgence. So I believe that in the earlier video, the woman dared to lay hands on him, and the man fought back immediately, and at that moment, this man truly treated this woman as an equal opponent, and that is what real gender equality looks like. From a human nature perspective, the more polite you are to her, the more you yield to her, the more she thinks you are an incapable man. If you fight back, and fight back harder, she will think you look like a man, like a tough guy. Even though she got hit, deep down she respects you, even admires you, because women admire strength. Some people will definitely say, "You are also a woman." Precisely because I am a woman, that is why I say this.
像类似于在大街上女性主动攻击男性的。
Watching this video, I want to say three things. Phenomena like women attacking men on the street, and continuing to attack even when the man is already yielding. This kind of thing in the whole world, you can basically only see it in our country. In Europe, America, Japan, and South Korea, it is impossible for women to actively provoke and assault men, and keep assaulting men like this. That is because for the vast majority of women, they know very well that their strength and muscles are weaker than men's. So the first rule for women's survival is, do not actively provoke or assault a man whose physical strength is far greater than yours, because in the end, the one who loses will be you. In the video, this man kept yielding again and again, but this woman kept pressing step by step. People even tried to break it up in the middle, but she simply would not listen. In the last 1 or 2 seconds, she was knocked down by the man. You tell me you get humiliated and you get beaten, why do that? For a man, he should respect women, but women should also respect men, right? The two sexes should respect each other, rather than relying on being physically weaker to insist on provoking a sex that is much stronger than you, right? In the end, the one who suffers will definitely be you. The second thing I want to say is that the family education and risk awareness of girls in some families have gone wrong. A girl with good upbringing would not keep attacking a man for that long, right? That is simply too unwise. A woman with strong self-protection awareness would also not attack a man like this in a public place. Because in a public place, if you attack a man for such a long time, you are making him lose face, right? At first he may still endure it, but once it reaches a certain point, he can't endure it anymore, and he might knock you down in just a few seconds. The third thing I want to say is that the reason this phenomenon forms is that some women have been brainwashed by toxic chicken soup advice, acting as if they are the center of the world, and lacking the most basic respect for men. Men should respect women, but the premise is that women deserve respect, right? Because respect is mutual. Like the woman in this video, continuously attacking a man is the greatest contempt and disrespect toward men. Then when you get hit back, who can you blame? I believe after being hit this time, she will know better, and she will learn her lesson. Because in our country now, most families have only 1 child, and on top of that, society has spread some toxic chicken soup advice, and some not-so-smart women get brainwashed, thinking that as women they have a unique advantage. They think men do not dare to hit them, right? Even if they keep assaulting men, men do not dare to hit them, or men should not hit them. That is not how it works. In the end, let me summarize: women, in public places, must not provoke men, and especially must not assault men. If you really did hit him, one hit is enough. Stop immediately, do not keep hitting him. Because once you hit for a long time, he will feel humiliated, and he can strike back at any time. Once he strikes back, the vast majority of the ones who suffer will be women. Also, I think some families should strengthen women's safety education and family education, be more well-mannered. There is no need to be so fierce in public places. To be honest, I lived abroad for a long time, and in my impression, in Europe, America, Japan, and South Korea, there are no women who would be so unwise and so ill-mannered in public places.
看完这条视频，我就想问问你，你到底在赌什么？
After watching this video, I just want to ask you, what exactly are you gambling on? Are you gambling on this man's patience, or gambling that this man does not dare to hit you? I want to say, being domineering and arrogant at home is one thing, because maybe your boyfriend or husband at home will yield to you, but this is outside. Where does your confidence come from, to bet that under your repeated humiliation, this man still would not dare to hit you? Many women, whether at home or outside, always have this idea, that is, you are a man, how can a man hit a woman? If a man hits a woman then he is wrong, a man cannot hit a woman. Just because you are a man, I think that is truly ridiculous. What about men? Aren't men and women just one squats to pee and one stands to pee? What other difference should there be? What women need, men also need, what women have, men also have. In our traditional educational beliefs, a man's hands are for conquering the world, not for hitting women. Look at women nowadays. If she can't reach a man, she jumps up and curses you, she bounces up and spits on you. If a man refutes a single sentence, then he will be viciously cursed by women on the spot. Woman, you must understand, when women get angry, they like to curse, when men get angry, they like to hit. It is not a question of who is right or wrong, it is that everyone vents differently, because men simply cannot outcurse women, so the only option is to use their hands. So do not always provoke a man's bottom line. Isn't there a saying, a good man does not suffer an immediate loss? You tell me, does your cursing hurt more, or does his punching hurt more? You can't say you can curse a man however you want, and a man cannot strike back, just because he is a man. That is too much, and it won't, and it can't. Everyone has moments when they lose control. There was a previous video where the woman also would not let it go, spitting on the man's face, and in the end, that man beat her until she was bruised and swollen. And don't tell me you're a woman. Don't tell me you spit on other people. If you spit on your dad would beat you too. My son is 1.85 meters tall. If I beat him once, he might not hurt, but my arm would hurt for days. You are truly overestimating yourself. Some women are like this. You reason with her, she acts like a thug. You act like a thug with her, she reasons with you. I hope these fairy girls wipe their eyes. First figure out what is at home and what is outside, so you can keep a sense of proportion, take the hint and stop. Otherwise, that man's punch might just cure your princess syndrome with one hit.
I advise all women, after having a dispute with a man outside, you must yield first. We often see that in public places, a man and a woman argue over something, and then the man injures the woman. Women must not think that outside you can beat a man, or think this man does not dare to touch you, or have the childish idea that he cannot beat you. If a man wants to hit you, it is truly too easy. Of course, unless you are Zhang Wei Li, a professional fighter, that doesn't count. If this matter is not big and is very small, yield once and leave, you won't lose anything. If you think this matter is a bit big, a bit serious, then we should also yield and in the end call the police and let the police handle it. That is best. To ensure your own personal safety, and also for those little fairy girls who have been spoiled at home. You always think men can't beat you. You are the best. You are so impressive. You are great at beating your husband at home, but outside, nobody will spoil you. If a real conflict happens, you can't do anything. Men and women are simply not on the same level. It is too easy to hit you. Of course, I am not saying to enable men or anything. The purpose is still to let you women protect yourselves. Even if this man is indeed a jerk, don't get heated with him. You also yield, step back, and let the police handle it. The more you provoke him, the more he loses control. If you get hit, the other person goes to the police station and he pays compensation, but the one in pain is you. You are injured. Your family is also hurt. Do you think it is worth it? Do you feel good? In the end, isn't it still you who suffers? So whenever possible, take one step back. Protecting yourself is the most important. Do not do it just for that momentary burst of anger.